Greetings, YouTube. Welcome to the Real Life Defense Solution channel. I'm your host, JW. This is the OG Chronicles. This is going to be chapter 1. And y'all have to excuse me, I am on duty. So I have to be on guard. I got to keep my eyes a roaming. But I want to talk to you real quick. Now, by me being at work, I won't be long, but I will be kind of strong. Because this is an important subject that we're speaking on. And this subject, today, we're going to be talking about training. Are you training as an armed professional on your own dime, on your own time? Are you going out there putting in the work to qualify yourself to be a protector of the populace? That's the question at hand. Now, I'm mostly going to speak to private security, the brotherhood in which I belong, armed. If you're not an armed security officer, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with your life in today's world. Matter of fact, any company that hires a security company and requires their officers to be unarmed, you're out of order. I'm going to say that one more again. You're out of order. You're risking all of your employees' life, that officer's life. You know what I'm saying? You just want to sit there and have something for show. And it ain't about real security. Because real security can't come without a tool that can enforce it. What the hell is an unarmed security officer going to do but outrun the rest of your staff on the way to the exit? Or the way to the back? Out the window? When somebody comes? You see? Y'all need to stop that shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. Y'all need to stop that shit. Every officer that puts on a badge, security officer that puts on a badge, you better have some skills. You better have a firearm. If you plan on being successful and being able to protect lives. Now look. What does training do? Am I talking about just going to the range and hanging up a target, putting some holes in it, bang, 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 bang? No, that's not training. That's plinking. Training is having some standards, timed, and accuracy. Because you got to have them both in a real life fight for your life. You got to be faster, if you will, and you got to be accurate. Because for one, you can never miss fast enough in a gunfight to catch up. For two, you own every round that comes out that muzzle, baby. There's a lawyer attached to it. You are morally, ethically, and legally responsible. See, this is a hell of a thing. You know, it's constitutional carry here where I'm at, Tennessee. And I'm cool with that. I like that. I like that idea. But if I keep it 200 with you, 100 for myself and 100 for the people that won't, I have to cringe a little bit. It's out there. I'm all for everybody, every law-abiding, sane, sober, prudent person to have a firearm and protect yourself and your family. I'm for all of that shit. But if we're honest, there's a lot of dumbasses out here. A whole lot of dumbasses. I've been around guns all my life. I don't need no training. You the main one I'm running from. This has been around all guns all my life. Because you the most careless one. Granddaddy, Pipey, they all taught you a little something. They might not have had no training. All they know is point and pull trick. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here whose ego get in the way. And they want to solve every issue with a gun because they feel like it's an intimidation tool. They might not have committed a crime or a robbery and unable to purchase a firearm legally, until they get that power in their hand. So this firearm is power. Power, I say. Why the hell do you think the government want to take it away from you? Now, I know old JJ, old Joe Biden, came around talking about, well, you need more than AR-15 to fight the government. We got the Apache helicopters and blah, 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 blah. But the AR is way more significant in defending your freedoms than no Elmer Fudd. Shotgun, you see. You have to excuse me, I got people walking by. I got to keep my eyeballs peeled. How you doing, sir? All right, keep it moving. All right. So there's a reason they want to get these things out of your hand, because it's power. We have the power. Look at here. Think over this. In America, with the firearm, unlike anybody else, the Queen of England, the doggone president can't do what we do. What is that, JW? If you have a firearm, you can just go anywhere up and down the street, point your finger, and have the power over life and death. That's saying something. And with that great power, not only comes responsibility, but accountability. You see? Now, I'm going to do a video probably next week on how we can stop mass shootings. It'll be my own opinion, of course, but I believe it's a valid one. I'll probably get put off of YouTube for it because it ain't going to go with the culture that's going on today. You understand? So, we'll see. Stay tuned for that one. But that's a hell of a power to have. And everybody, unfortunately, is not mentally prepared for that kind of thing. So not only do you have to watch out for the apex predators, the ones whose job it is to go around and victimize as many innocent people as they can, because they can, because they want what you got, because they had a freaking bad day. You got to watch out for the idiot whose ego gets bruised in a road rage incident or whatnot, and pulls out the gun to prove their point. Are you prepared? Now, I kind of went into civilian use as well right now, but training is training, where you be an armed professional or just your granddaddy or daddy, civilian, mama. You understand? If you're in charge of the security of your family, training is a key. You gotta have it. There is no way around it. You can go on and look up stories of law enforcement officers who have had their training, got into that gunfight, 5 yards, which is about a car length, 15 feet, and emptied 16, 17 rounds out of their gun and got murdered. Didn't hit nothing. That was that stress. That was that limbic system coming out. Survival. And that don't win gunfights. You might get lucky if they suck way worse than you, but you don't want to depend on that. You have to give yourself some standards. And security, LE, I'll say it again. If you're not holding yourself to high standards and training to protect the lives of others that you are sworn to protect, hired to protect, shame on you. If you're a civilian, you don't went out and bought this gun, thinking that it's all good now, and you let these rounds off downrange, miss what you're trying to hit because you're stressed out, you haven't put yourself in that predicament, you haven't studied the psychology of gunfighting, the psychology of the stress on the brain and the body. You know, if you don't know all that, know what to expect, and you send them rounds, them hot pockets downrange, and they miss your intended, and wind up in a little girl riding a bicycle, little boy playing with his friends, walking to the store or something. You got to live with that shit. And that decision was made way before that incident occurred. You should be at least dry practicing and have a routine, have a plan, a schedule. All right, I'm gonna come out, go to the low ready, finger straight on the side, 3 sets of 8 or 10 or whatever, just like working out. That's gonna train that finger to stay on the indicator. You know, I'm not gonna pull out no firearm right now because, like I said, I'm at work and I don't want to freak nobody out and lose my job. But we'll go over stuff like that eventually. I'll do a dry practice, show y'all what I do in my dry practice. You ought to have 2 or 3 sets of, I do 10 reps, but 5 to 10 reps of coming out that holster and going on target and prepping that trigger without breaking that shot. You got to be able to do that kind of stuff. Give some verbals. Tell them to lay their ass down before they have a bad day, a worse day than what they're already having. You got to be able to do that because as soon as you come out and you prepping that trigger, because they got a knife or a gun in their hand, they say, "Oh, my bad," and drop that gun and you shoot them anyway. Bad day for you. It sucks to be you at that day. It won't be me. I done ran them neurons. This is something that I do. That's jail time, baby. If you're looking at YouTubes and you try to be all tactical and you coming out of your holster and then you going around doing all this, scanning, and that muzzle's downrange, and there's people downrange, guess what you just did? Aggravated assault with a firearm. That's a felony for everybody that you muzzle. Everybody. See, that shit look cool on YouTube in certain training environments. And I ain't putting nothing together. I mean, a lot of these guys are coming from a military background, law enforcement background. And see, what you got to understand as a civilian. Now, I'm going to switch to civilian just for a minute. What you have to understand as a civilian, police officers have what they call qualified immunity. If they muzzle somebody, they ain't going to jail for that shit. If they accidentally shoot somebody, they ain't going to jail for that shit too quick. They not. You, on the other hand, ain't nobody trying to hear your story. They don't give two scoops of tick shit about what you intended to hit. They don't give, a drop of flea piss about how you feel about the situation. Oh, I just wanted to. Nobody gives a shit. You done hit an innocent. We knew you populace aren't responsible enough for this firearm. You see? And that puts everybody's rights in jeopardy. We gotta fight for something that's already established because of idiots out here with these damn firearms. Don't be that person. Go out and get you some quality training. There's plenty of people out there. But just know what's, appropriate for you. Soldiers. The rules of engagement for police officers and soldiers are way different for private security and civilians. It is. And if you go around trying to do some of these range tricks that you see on YouTube, you're going to jail. Mad as hell. Think somebody done did you wrong. Now, not too long ago, about a week and a half or something like that, I used to work at this place called Smile Direct. And they had a young man that came through there for whatever reason. He was ready to die. Suicide by security or suicide by cop, which was ultimately the outcome. I know one of the officers that got shot. Like I said, that was my old duty post. One of the officers that got shot is in critical. One manager got shot. Hopefully, and I haven't heard any update on the critical now. The one that I know, the gentleman got one in the leg, and I believe he was released back home, which he came out fortunate, because if he got one of those femoral arteries clipped real good and bled out, he would have never he wouldn't expected that. He didn't expect that to happen that day. You always, and this goes again, I really can't even separate security and the civilian, the first person defender, civilian. I can't even really separate it because all the rules apply. Every day you walk out that door, you got to be prepared. You got to know in your heart and mind that today might be my day. And you got to be okay with that. If you're not, then don't go on. If you're not training, don't go on. If you're not, get another job, another profession. Yeah, the camera's moving around a little bit. I apologize, everybody. Like I said, it's my first episode of real life. It's just what it is right now. We'll do better in the future. I promise you that. But it's just I just wanted to get it out there and introduce myself to the YouTube world. Man, I love you guys, man. I swear I do. Anybody who wants to take responsibility to the safety of themselves and their family in their own hands, anybody who takes the job, and I know the law enforcement is getting a lot of heat and slack, and there's some dickheads out there. We can't deny that. But there's also some people out there really trying to do the right thing, and they get lumped in with the other ones just because they all wear the badge or a uniform. And that ain't really cool, but that's just the way it is. See, they say we get profiled, or the citizens get profiled for whatever this demographic or that, but yet the same is going on for them. So if we're gonna be righteous and just, then we got to give everybody the respect based on their own merit, uniform or not. And this video is getting a little long, but I just wanted to finish up with this incident that happened out there. That young man was able to shoot 2 officers and a manager and move on down the road, where Metro Police Department engaged him, and unfortunately he chose to go out in a blaze of glory. Now, I'm not going to talk dog on these officers. Like I said, I knew one of them. Worked for the company, great people. So, it's nothing on, there's no dig on them. Trust me when I tell you this. But what happened? What happened? And I don't know because I wasn't there. But if I was to guess, somebody froze. That day came that they didn't think would ever come, because it's been cush up until now. Yeah, it's a little rowdy out there now, I ain't gonna lie. Morning traffic was to work at that parking lot, man, it was a booger. There was attitudes here and there, but I mean, on the norm, it's just a normal day. Nothing high risk. As security, nothing high risk. We wasn't in the prison system or nothing where you might have to worry about shanks and all this and that. You didn't think. These are people out here trying to make a living. But that day came. And from results of the activities that happened on that day, somebody wasn't prepared. So security, LE, and not so much LE, because like I said, you guys can get on the horn and there'll be some guys there that'll have your back with the quickness. But LE, you too, because again, if the people are depending on you, you're the only one there at the time. Till your boys get there, it's on you. Are you spending that money? Are you going to that training? Are you putting yourself under pressure and time and doing stuff like simunition training? And that's some of the best training ever. Now, once you get through the skill building, if you will, being able to do on demand, accurate shots under time, you know what I'm saying, at different distances, strong hand, support hand, you understand? Different positions where you get knocked on your back, are you able to put rounds on target? Are you studying the psychology of human behavior, the body, the mind under stress, the effects of adrenaline? Are you studying these things? If not, you're out of order. Because all of this comes into play on that day. The psychology, the awareness, the skill, the decision making, all of that comes into play. And on that day, if you're security, if you're law enforcement, hell, if you're a civilian and you're out with your family, and lives are on the line, and you're the only thing standing there between life and death for yourself and other people who you love and trust you, and you're not able to perform because you chose to be lazy, you chose to watch TV instead of dry practicing. You chose, we can spend this money by going out and kicking it instead of going down here to such and such class and learning something. Those are your decisions. And on that day, when you die, or you watch your loved ones die because of your negligence as a defender, if you're still living, you more than likely wish that you were dead. Because the only thing, and that really to me, that's worse than getting killed. Because then you got to live day in and day out knowing I fucked up. I should have. I wish I would have. Shut up. Because you didn't. If that day hasn't happened to you yet, you still got time. You got a chance. Do better. Be better. Hell, I just came out of a 2-day class, 2-day course, range master certification, advanced instructor. Got on in there. I'm happy about that. But hell, I got a lot of work to do. I still got a lot of work to do. And as one of my good friends, Memphis Beach, told me, he said, well, hell, if you ever live up to your own expectations, your bar is too low. Roger that. So, from here on out, guys, I hope that you set high standards for yourself. Know that I love you. Tell me how important do you think training is for survivability? Because you're not going to rise to the occasion. You're going to fall upon the level of your training. And when shit go down and hit the fan and that stress go up, your mind is going to go, okay, have I seen this? Have I seen this? Have I seen this? I don't want to know. I'm not familiar with this. We've never done this. Oh my God, what's going on? And that's where your freeze come in, deer in the headlights. Time is lost, lives are lost. But if you're training and you've had some familiar, you done fed your subconscious these things, and shit go to the fan, your brain is gonna do. Oh yeah, we've done this. Yeah, I can come out of my holster in about a second and a quarter, put rounds accurately on target. 5 rounds, 3 to 4 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that, whatever, you know. And then your body's just going to perform. You ain't even really got to think about it. It's an amazing experience when you're in the flow. If you've been an athlete or anything like that, and you've really been in that zone, what they call a zone, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. Combat soldiers, police officers have been in shootings, you know, on the job shootings or off the job shootings. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a calmness, if you're trained and prepared, it's a calmness that comes over you in the eye of the storm. It's a strange feeling that's kind of hard for me to get over in words to you. You know, unless you've been there, it'd be kind of hard to explain it. But the bottom line is, it's a calmness in the storm. Your body's just going to do what it has to do. It knows what to do, and it's going to come out in that moment. But it's got to be something there to come out. It's got to be something there to come out. And if you're not doing that shit, if you're not training, there ain't going to be nothing there to come out but panic and freeze. And that benefits nobody. Especially if you're security or law enforcement and people are depending on you. If you're a private civilian, you're there with your family, your wife, your husband, whatever the situation may be, your children, and it goes down and you're not prepared, guarantee you TV is not that important. You put on this badge, you lose the right to be unfit, physically or mentally. So, look at this video is went a little long. I get a little long-winded. I apologize. But this is my introduction video, and I just wanted to speak with you for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just, introduce myself to the world. JW, Real Life Defense Solutions, OG Chronicles, Chapter 1. Give me a like, a share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I look forward to speaking with you again real soon. Until then, train hard, train consistently, train intensely, and be hard to kill. One love.